Everyone on the planet likes a bargain, a great deal on a high-end product. A lot of times, we'll settle for just getting our money's worth. But if you're like me, you spent money on something that was a complete waste or something you thought you needed, but used it only once, and all it does now is take up space. Seemed like a great idea at the time, but it quickly lost its luster. Most professional sports teams have had the same experience. They write checks for players who just take up space on their roster without much return on investment. The Seahawks have had their share of free agent signings with very little ROI. Fortunately, those mistakes weren't financial disasters. They signed left tackle Luke Joeckel to a one-year, $8 million deal back in 2017, and running back Eddie Lacy in the same year to a one-year, $2.8 million deal. I won't bog you down with their less than impressive stats, only to say $10.8 million total for two free agent busts speaks pretty well for John Schneider's tenure. Where the Seahawks have gotten into trouble in the past have been when they traded for top talent. The all-timer so far was their deal with the Vikings, trading a first-round draft pick and two other picks to Minnesota for receiver Percy Harvin. The Seahawks then signed Harvin to a new contract that guaranteed him $14.5 million. He played only one regular season game in 2013, returned to kickoff for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and then was traded to the Jets the next season. Brutal. Why all the background? Because it speaks to the risks teams take trying to build a championship contender, which brings us to the Seahawks' present-day signing of Bobby Wagner. The Hawks released him a year ago before his final season in Seattle, in which he was scheduled to make over $16 million. Wagner didn't last long as a free agent, signing with the Rams, a relationship that lasted one season. Now, Wagner is back in Seattle for $7 million. The all-everything linebacker is coming off one of his most productive NFL seasons. He far and away led the Rams in tackles, had 5 sacks, and started all 17 of their games. One of his most impressive qualities isn't even listed on the stat sheet: durability. In his last 8 seasons, Wagner has missed just 2 games. 2 games as an inside linebacker whose collision rate was as high as his tackle success rate. And they got him for $7 million. A far cry from the $16 million owed him a year ago at this time. Near the end of his final season in Seattle, Wagner was asked about his future with the team. When a reporter hinted at the possibility of Wagner reworking the final year of his contract to make it more team-friendly so he could stay in Seattle, Wagner cracked a smile and interjected as if to keep the reporter from uttering the words, "hometown discount." The perennial All-Pro linebacker believed he was still worthy of being one of the highest-paid players at his position. He played like it in Los Angeles, and judging from his prove-you-wrong mentality, he'll play at that same level for Seattle this fall at the age of 33. In an offseason where the Seahawks have undergone major changes on defense with an influx of new talent, one thing they have yet to replace is Wagner's leadership. Granted, he may not create the second coming of the LOB, but the ROI will be unmatched.